Hey everyone, welcome to Painting Wellness. I'm Dr. Emerald here along with
Kat Garcia, and today we are going to surprise Dr. Emerald with a topic about mental load.
mental load. Okay.
Yes, because I have been seeing this all over TikTok, and I've been seeing it in my office a lot, and I was like, oh my god, that's such a great conversation topic. We can, get into all kinds of trouble with that.
I certainly have. I just want to clarify. So, what are some other names that mental load could be going? Because I usually hear it as mental burden.
Yeah, that could be, yes.
Any other ones that people might have heard that's similar? No, mental load, mental burden.
Yeah.
Just I have to think about all the things in this relationship.
Absolutely.
Usually. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, great. I haven't thought about this at all.
No,
so,
you have not. I just sprung that on you.
Yeah.
So, we'll just. But I do want to ask you. Can you tell me what you're drinking? Because I don't know. Every time you take a sip, it's like.
So today it's this is also something that was on TikTok and Instagram that I'm giving a shot. It is a health mixture, tincture, potion thing. It is orange juice, ginger, cayenne pepper, and there's probably something else that I don't remember we'll just call it the secret ingredient. I don't remember. It's all healthy. All healthy. So
sounds delicious. Hopefully he won't start
hopefully I don't have disaster pants
like
during this.
Katy Perry when she started glitching on her in her concert. So anyway,
hey.
So I digress. It smells very interesting too. So
it's great for your microbiome and your gut.
Really?
Yeah. So it could be a lot of times when people are having skin issues, look to the gut. Yeah. That's kind of where we show when our gut is in distress, we'll start to have acne, pimples, maybe dry skin. So people that get the scaly on their elbows. So a lot of gut inflammation.
Yeah.
So a little fun fact.
Yeah.
For you.
Well,
but that's not what we're talking about today.
I know, but we should totally talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Because food.
I would love to talk
food
about
and mental health. Oh my
microbiome.
Microbiome. What?
I was thinking of a biome and dome, and then it just combined. Words are hard.
We make up words here all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, mental load.
Yeah, sorry for changing the subject.
No, I love when you change the subject. And I think that we should talk about that too at some point, because I think that mental load impacts your gut.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
you're going to keep track of that then?
Sure, Jada, help us. Okay, so mental load. So let's talk about. We're going to totally do stereotypes today, and with gender.
Okay.
We can call it feminine energy versus masculine energy instead of male versus female, just so we are inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to stereotype feminine energy.
Okay.
Okay? We are also going to sort of maybe stereotype those that are the primary caregiver in the homes. Okay?
Right.
So please do not be offended. That's my public service
disclaimer.
But yes, disclaimer.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do our best.
We're going to do our best. So, because we want to be inclusive of everybody. So when you hear mental load or mental burden, what do you think about?
I think about trying to track different things, trying to keep if there are things that the house needs, be it groceries, repairs, or I don't have kids, but I would imagine if there were kids that needed to be picked up, driven, fed, all of those things, that would probably go on that list.
Yes.
Disclaimer, I rarely think about any of that stuff.
So who carries the mental load in your house?
Well, no one.
Oh.
Because it's just me. So.
So it's just like a free for all at the Emerald House.
Oh, it's like Lord of the Flies. It's great. It's just it's uncontained energy just flowing throughout.
I love it.
I'm a water sign, so I just love all of that. Yeah, no, I would say like what I generally do is I'll text myself. So then like it's kind of there because like when I go to my favorite store, I'll go for like very specific things. I'm a hunter in that respect. I get there and then I forget what I'm there for. So like even then I found that texting myself helps a lot. Very nice reminders.
Yeah.
Like, hey, have a great day. By the way, pick these things up.
Yeah, that's very kind of you to yourself. Jada, who runs the mental load in your house?
Probably me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're the nurturer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The caregiver, the primary caregiver of the furry
Of
children.
my dog.
Of your dog.
Yes.
Okay. So, one of the things that comes up a lot in conversations with the couples that I see is this idea of not that there's a disparity in household chores. Okay. And many times I want to say, and here we're going to generalize, okay, that the person with the feminine energy, the person that stays home, for this example, the mom, takes care of a lot of those things. And although she would want the masculine energy in the home or her partner to take care of some of the things, she doesn't think they're going to be done well enough.
Well enough. So not even that they're going to be done, it's that they're not going to be done well enough.
Well, I'm being nice.
Okay.
They might not be done at all. I don't know. It's
I was gonna say that like is an interesting piece for me of like hearing. It's like there's generally I'd be curious if there's generally faith that it'll be done, or if it's like it'll get done, but it's not gonna be.
It's one of those two.
Well, I don't know if there's really a third.
So. I mean, honestly, I'm sure, and I'm happy to stand corrected, that there is some couples out there that you tell the partner to do something and they're like, it's going to 100% be done exactly how I like it. Maybe. I don't know. I am not the knower of all things. Okay. However, in my experience, a lot of the couples that come in have a disparity when it comes to that. And it's really hard because I try to remind the partner that's doing all the work that we have to allow the space for our partners to do some of the work. So let's say you're my partner and I ask you to clean the bathroom. I cannot go behind you and clean the bathroom after you've cleaned the bathroom. Because then what's going to happen?
I'm going to feel some frustration, and I'm going to wonder why I even did it in the first place.
That's right. It can possibly even emasculate you, right? Like, I'm not doing it good enough or whatever. So then, if I ask you to clean the bathroom next week, you might probably not go because you're like, I'm not going to clean it well enough anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So now I have created additional tasks for myself because I am not allowing you the space to do the chore. Okay. So that's something else I have to worry about.
All right.
Okay. Now, let's say for the sake of argument, Jada, how many children should we have?
4.
Okay. Wow, we're busy. Okay, let's say we have 4 children.
Okay.
And I am the primary caregiver. And I may or may not work outside the home.
All
outside
right.
the home, because I might work. If I'm a stay-at-home mom, that's work.
With 4
okay?
kids.
That's a lot. But I'm the primary caregiver, right? And you're a doctor, so you're busy. You've got all these patients. So I am in charge of the kid schedule.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think that constitutes? And this is a trick question. I'm just going to be outright.
You're going to be outright on that?
Yeah.
All right. I imagine...
Jada's looking at you like expectantly.
Wow.
As the mental load keeper of her home,
of all the things.
she's like, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. How well does Dr. Emerald do under pressure? So, why am I even doing this if you're going to do it for me anyways? So, waking them up in the morning, getting them ready for school, making sure they're fed, making sure that they even have lunches to eat, getting them there, picking them up. Maybe there's after school activities. I feel like now there's also a lot of like expectation that you go to the school throughout the like weeks, be it for like assemblies or other like helping out, PTA stuff. Dinner, getting homework done, making sure that they've cleaned behind their ears. That's
because gross.
That's a dirty job. Someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Getting them into bed, maybe other just emotional like conversations, talking with them.
Don't forget the uniforms of the things that they're having after school, because if maybe they play soccer, so I need to make sure that either I bring it or I go home with enough time to make it to soccer, and that's if all 4 children are going to soccer, because maybe one of them has baseball. And the one that's in gymnastics, she needs snacks today, and they can't be homemade. I need to buy them from the store because, germs and things, and they can't have nuts.
Yeah, please don't give them those.
Yes. So I'm just.
I think you missed 1 or 2 things probably in there too, I imagine. But there's a long list.
Oh, and there's the baby that needs to be carried in the carrier because it's our 4th child.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and snacks for that baby, because maybe I need to call the mom that is gonna do the baseball or something. Right? Are you tired yet?
I froze up.
You're just like, I don't even
Deer
know.
in the headlights.
Yeah. So that, my friends, is mental load. So for those parents or partners that may or may not have a job outside the home and carry a lot of the load, right? It is very hard sometimes to express how exhausted they are. Because the other partner might be like, well, why? Like,
all you had to do was just take him to school.
I know, you just took him to school. And those beautiful souls that stay home all day and work at home, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine, right? And so like I said, I have a lot of people that come in and one partner stays at home, and it's hard for them to even explain, and it's even hard for them to understand themselves.
Yeah. One of the things that I like heard in passing, and it really stuck with me, is that the person at home it's not like they have a 9 to 5. It's a 24/7. And so even when I've come home after I've seen my patients, I get to have probably my expectations like, well, I've been working all day, so let me have 10 minutes to myself to relax, where I mean, for you just have to continue going, and then I'm sure that by the end of it all you're still like, oh my gosh, I didn't get to this or this.
Yeah.
And then it starts all over.
Well, and then when it's bedtime, what happens?
Well, it's been a long day, and I'd like to connect with my partner probably.
I don't have any bandwidth for that.
No?
I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be talked to. I don't want to breathe the same air as anybody else. I just want to sleep.
Well,
do you see how this can
be a problem? This can be an issue.
Right?
Yeah.
And so when people come in to counseling as couples, or when they're in the middle of discussion, sometimes, people are like, we're just not connecting, but nobody talks about the mental load that it takes to do all these things. And I'm not saying that the person that doesn't stay at home, or the person that doesn't drive the kids to school or whatever, doesn't have a mental load. Absolutely. The mental load might be different, right? Let's say provide for the bills, making sure the finances are in place, whatever. But it's incredible because all those things the other person also worries about, even if it's not their responsibility. So when we look at mental load, it's just absolutely incredible how exhausting it can be. And so a lot of times, one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this up in today's podcast is because I think that we really have to talk more about this and how it can affect connection. And for those of you that have a huge mental load at home, it can impact, like, I don't want to go be social. I don't want to, can you please give me 20 minutes when you get home, even though you're exhausted from work? But you've been home. Well, yeah, but I've been home with the 4 kids, or I've been doing this or that or the other. And also giving myself credit for, gosh, why am I tired if I'm at home? What
Yeah.
is wrong with me? Well, guess what? If I have a huge mental load and I'm thinking of things that are not even my responsibility, but part of the household, that can be very, very draining. So, I think that a lot of partners don't have that understanding. The one partner that has the mental load and the other partner that has a different mental load. And we don't talk about those things and how that impacts our relationships.
So I think like starting that conversation and being able to listen, and then also like we've talked in previous episodes, like Dear Man, like that probably be, would that be an appropriate way to like discuss some of that stuff, or like use as a framework?
Yeah, I mean, I think that being able to learn really good communication skills is important, but I think that a lot of it is recognizing that we are struggling with that.
Yeah.
And maybe even validating our partners, like, gosh, honey, you've been here all day. Can I take, can you, do you want 15 minutes? I always encourage couples. I'm like, you know what, when the one partner comes home, let the other partner have 20 minutes, or you can take 20 minutes and then the other partner has 20 minutes to just fully decompress.
Yeah.
I call it the mommy timeout, and the daddy timeout, because we need that space. Because regardless of whether you were at the office all day or you were at home all day with the kids and running around, it's still important to self-care, and it's important to decompress. And I think it's really important for us to understand what that means for ourselves and really validate our partners through it. Because I think that I don't think we validate ourselves or our partners when it comes to that mental load.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
it's
so
easy to, 'cause
frustrating.
it's not, you don't see it. So it's easy
You
to
don't.
just pass over, or you get in the grind of things and it just
Absolutely.
keeps going. And I can even imagine like when you're taking the 20 minutes for yourself, I'm going to speak for myself. I would probably need to leave the house, because I could still see, especially if I'm the feminine character or just the caretaker, if the kids are still wanting to, they're not necessarily going to understand right away, at least, that boundary of like, all right, it's time for mom or dad's time to just like have some alone time or whatever. The other thing that you said that I found interesting, which I don't find myself doing a ton, is I don't think about, in the past I haven't thought about my partner's mental load and all of the different things, but I know that she has reported that her thinking all those things. So I'm wondering, like, is that a difference between feminine and masculine energy, or are roles where maybe like masculine is able to compartmentalize,
Yeah,
or
that's...
feminine is, it's more of a I don't know, an energy, or being able to just flow in between those two states more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, masculine and feminine energies do process information different. And again, we talked about the disclaimer about the stereotypes, but, we do process information differently. And the masculine energies tend to be able to have, what I call it waffle brain. So you can put syrup in each square.
Okay.
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
And you address that versus the feminine energy, which I call spaghetti brain. And you got all the noodles and all the sauce and maybe some meatballs in there. And it's just everything's together. There is no like separation, because you have to do all of it. And so it's like, can you tell me what's more? Well, I don't know. I have like 17 noodles in there. I don't know. I have 27 noodles in there. So it's very, very much different people process information differently, and the mental load is then processed very differently. And again, it goes back to understanding your partner, so you can understand how they process information. Because again, we don't want to generalize with the masculine and feminine energy. Just ask your partner, like, when you think about all those things, what are the things you're thinking about? How do you organize your thoughts? Do you need 20 minutes? What does those 20 minutes look like for you? Do you need, some people stay in the car. I love staying in my car. I love my home. I love staying in my car with my book, my Audible, but I also encourage people to have a space at home that feels cozy. I encourage people to have that space where they can go. My bedroom is that safe space for me, because we need to have that, and we need to make sure that we explain to our partners what we need, regardless of how long we've been with them, because they are not psychic. I mean, even if they've been with us for 20 years, we cannot assume they know. We have to ask for what we need. And so when it comes to mental load, it's important, ask your partner and talk to your partner about what you need. So we talked about mental load, and this is something I swear we could talk about for
You could keep going on it.
I know, for
many episodes.
Yeah,
I'm sure on this.
for sure, because I think this is something that's super, super powerful, and it's so relevant to so many people. So there was a lot of information. Do you want to do the hunter?
I'm gonna round it up, and we'll get these key points, and then I see this really as being like an intro of like just becoming aware of mental, like maybe if you haven't recognized all of the different things that you may be keeping track of. So our big thing I would say is communicate with your partner that what your needs may or may not be. Even regardless of how short or long of a time, communication is always going to be key.
Yeah.
A good starting place, it sounds like, is even if you're not sure it's going to be helpful, maybe spending 20 minutes of decompression alone time, safe space in the home would be really nice, or even if it's just in the car, listening to music, Audible, whatever makes you feel like you get that recharge time. And I could also see that being really beneficial, because then that can start allowing you the space to kind of untangle what some of those other needs may or may not be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like putting that oxygen mask on first, seeing where we're at. Different people process mental load differently.
Absolutely.
We have waffle brains, sounds like myself, and then potentially spaghetti brains, where everything is just mixed, smashed in there.
Spaghetti brains.
And really going from there and seeing where that leads you. Validation.
Oh, I was just going to say, did you forget the most important thing?
Let your partner know that they're appreciated. Let them know. And then also appreciate yourself.
Yeah. Don't dismiss all the stuff you do.
Yeah.
So that was great hunting.
Thank you.
This has been Painting Wellness. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
and
that's the podcast
we
we're on.
will see you next time.
See you guys next time. Oh, not in sync. Backstreet Boys today.